he ran his own practice. He billed insurance. He did X-rays in office. He did like a lot of muscle work and shit. Like I got some exposure to his systems and the way that he ran things. But like I was there just like digging elbows into people's asses and then like changing out tables and stuff. Like cool, like whatever. Like so, every now and then I'll go run and get coffee, whatever. Um, like he would have me adjust him at the end of the day and stuff, and it was fine. Like he was happy with my performance as an intern. I remember it came to the end of my internship, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't wait to get out of here. And he ended up offering me a job.
Oh, the old timeshare sale.
Hey,
God damn it. That's how they get you.
And what it was, he would pay me $1,500 a month, and then I would get, I think it was 20% of every dollar I brought in over $10,000 each month.
Okay. So there was a time in history where African tribes would go to other African tribes and they offer them a very similar job. And the job was get in the boat. And it was basically similar terms. That's not a job. $1,500? Are you fucking joking me? Dude, we live in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I know.
What did you say?
That it was the most disrespectful thing I think someone said to my face, genuinely.
That's why.
And people have hit me in the face. People have caused physical damage to my head. Like this was the most disrespectful thing I think someone's ever. And at the time, I was making like plenty more than that training people. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. There's absolutely no way I'm going to do that. So it's. I mean, granted, I was in a position where I was working for free and I had to do this, but kind of the message I'm getting at here is that no one's going to value your time like you value your time. Right. And that's especially in any sort of business setting. Like it's great if you can have a good business relationship. And I've read a few business books, but like one of the ones, I think this was Never Split the Difference by maybe Jim Collins. It might not be Jim Collins, but it's a book about business negotiation. And basically one of the early on chapters, he said, in business negotiations, it needs to be a win-win or it's a no deal, right? Like both parties need to win or there's no reason to make that deal. Like you don't want to be in a relationship with someone that's unhappy in the business relationship because that's just going to cause turmoil, friction, resentment, whatever it is. And that's like, I can't imagine going into work, the amount I would have to hate myself every day to get myself to go into this place to make this guy rich. Like that's an insane offer to me. But the thing is like I spent this time in his office and the most valuable thing I got out of that, because I wasn't getting paid to be there. Yes, I got my degree, I got my diploma, I got the license to do the thing to make money. But I learned his systems in a way where I'm like, okay, I think this works really well, but I think this is shit. Like, I think you're doing this terribly and you could be doing this, this, and this so much better. So like, if you're in that position, if you're a trainer and you're getting, say a chiropractic degree, like, okay, two things you can do right now is you can continue to build your clientele as big as you can as a trainer, because that runs parallel with probably the way you're going to practice when you're a chiropractor or you're a PT or whatever it is, but get experience understanding how other people run their business as well. Cause then, okay, maybe they're going to offer you some sort of deal that does not value your time, but the value you can extract from that is not monetary, but it's learning, it's experience, it's systems. And you can continue to build a clientele and then learn systems that either already work or work really well or don't work really well and figure out why they're broken. And then you can take those two things and you can turn that into your business. Because there's always a level of discomfort associated with either of these paths. Like either it's going into work for the person that doesn't value your time day after day and hating yourself because of it. That's really uncomfortable. But maybe there's a level of safety that appeals, or there's a level of learning that needs to happen before you can license yourself to go out and do that on your own. Or if you go the pure entrepreneurship route, like you and myself, fuck man, the day we graduated, we're like, yep, I'm a chiropractor now. I have my own practice. Like, dude, I was sitting around twiddling my thumb for months before I made any fucking money. So it's like there's a discomfort associated with that as well. And there's a steep learning curve in both of those areas, but the trade-off is if you're working for someone that doesn't value time, you can expedite the learning curve and then get the fuck out of there. As opposed to if you're working for yourself, like the discomfort isn't necessarily the learning curve. The discomfort is just getting the ball rolling. It's like you need to understand how to get that ball rolling, and you're probably going to fail a lot of times before you do, but there's going to be a discomfort either way. So you kind of need to choose what that's going to be. And there is value to be taken from humbling yourself, and even, I don't even want to say devaluing your time, because I don't really believe in that, but like extracting value in places other than monetary value from your time, that you can then exchange that later for monetary value.
Yeah, I think the one of the things that you learn early in entrepreneurship, and you might learn late in the more corporate setting, and I think you and I being able to bat stuff back and forth in the early days was super valuable. And one thing that I kind of clued into was, it's really about resource management at the end of the day, right? How you manage your resources, and time is one of them, money is another, and energy is a third. And I remember being early days, and I think about it a lot now, because you have time, money, and energy, and very rarely in your life are you gonna have all three, right? So out of school, compared to now, although I didn't think it at the time, I had a lot of time, but I also had a lot of energy. I had no money, less than no money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars less than no money.
Right.
But I had time. I was very rich with time. Like I went from, school was, you were 40 hours a week just in class, plus whatever study on top of that, plus trying to, maintain some level of fitness and training and all that. Like you were 80 hours in on a light week in school, without a doubt. And then all of a sudden you kind of get this weight lifted off your shoulders after 8 years of post-secondary education. And you're just like, fuck. Like you get like almost you're institutionalized with stress. And and still to this day have an issue with being, now to go back to our original point about addiction, definitely addicted to stress. You hear from me more when we don't have problems than when we have problems. Because when
True.
we have
Yeah.
problems, I got something to do.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, we got to do this, this, and this. All right, you do this, I'll do this. We'll call Penny, he'll rock that. Break. Okay, sick, go, execute, done. And I'm like, shit's on fire, but I am so happy.
Yeah.
I'm the dog sitting in the room. Everything's fine. And like, that's not a meme. Like that's my brain. Like if shit's on fire, chilling. This is this. Like put me, give me the keys. Let's fucking drive this bitch. Like ready to go. But like if things are good, I don't know what is this.
Yeah.
Because at least when it's on fire, I know where the fire is. When it's not on fire, I need to predict where it's coming from, and that's where my brain fucks off.
Yeah.
So the point of this is when I don't even remember what the fucking point of this was. When you have your resources laid out and you're in tune with what you have, because that's the biggest thing, right? Like some people say you don't have time. Motherfucker, you have time. You have time. Trust me. If you're contemplating this part of your career, you have time. Money, it'll come and go. You almost have to trust that money will come. That's kind of like where I've, weird, without talking about how much drugs I've done in the last couple of years, you almost have to have this, like, I'm going to jump and I'm going to fall into some money before shit gets real, real bad. I just know you just have trust that what it is you'll trust that you'll do what it takes to figure it out. And that's a muscle. Like that's something that you got to train, because like sometimes I look at the finances, just personal, and I go, okay, as it stands right now, I can't afford to do this, but I know that I'll figure it out. And I just like into the red on the credit card, into the next opportunity. And then sure enough, that opportunity, and I was like, oh fuck, whoo. I am batting 1,000% at that. And let me tell you, there's been some weird universal Hail Marys of like rent's due. And then the day before someone hits me and like, hey, I'm looking for blah, blah. Wow. Like it has happened so many times that I don't know what dimension I am not in tune with, but like you have to trust that you've done everything right or everything possible. And right is maybe the wrong terminology. I don't like right versus wrong. Everything you can. If you've done that and you start taking risks, you will benefit from those. Those risks will pay off. And, that is fundamental to our earlier point of like risk aversion versus conventional lifestyle versus entrepreneurship, that's a dividing line temperamentally for someone who may be better suited in the entrepreneur route or someone who's better suited in the more conventional job market. And neither are good or bad. It's just a matter of knowing which one you are. So those three resources, time, money, and energy. And then understanding when you have a good inventory of what each is worth for you.